Hello guys.
Welcome to
Monday with the Mavens.
Okay, we are talking all things body composition today. We are just making sure we're on the right
Well,
line.
and I'm like, I can
Yeah, we
barely
are.
open my eyes. You guys, I'm sorry if it's annoying, but I think I have to wear my sunglasses because we're
It's bright
outside
out
and
here.
and I'm sensitive. I have sensitive eyes.
Well, and we're not facing the sun, but still, it's just like there's a lot of brightness. So, anyways, we are super excited to be talking about body composition. It's funny because we've probably done a live specific to body comp before, and you know what?
I don't know if we actually have like specific to body comp.
Yeah, we've talked about it a lot,
Yeah.
and it's something we talk about a ton with
All
our
the time,
a ton
yeah.
with our clients. But we just want to break it down. Like, what is body composition? Why is it important to know what a healthy body composition is for you?
Oh, maybe I should.
Sorry, you guys, we might have a couple technical issues out here. And so what is body composition? Why is it important to know what a healthy body composition is for you? And then what are the best ways, the lowest hanging fruit for you to be able to start to shift your body composition, really in looking at just overall good health and longevity and vitality and all of the things. Of course, there's the aesthetic component too, which is, you know, we get, like we're all human. We all have a little bit of a vanity component, but it really comes down to just good health.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about what body composition is. It's exactly what it sounds. It's what is your body comprised of, right? So our body is made up of a ton of tissues, water, bones, muscle, fat, all of those things take into account what your entire body composition looks like. The coolest thing about body comp and body recomposition is when you want to change the way your body looks and actually you change what your body is made of. So you're changing the amount of fat your body has in it, the amount of muscle your body has in it. Can't really change your muscle or anything like that. You can change your hydration, all of those things. And each one of those things is a contributor to your overall body composition. And it's amazing, you guys. We have the ability as humans to change the way our bodies look, the way our bodies feel, and the way our bodies respond and perform. Yeah. It's really incredible. And to think that you don't have control over that makes me really sad. And so we are taking back control of our bodies. And if you are interested in recomping or shifting what your body looks like, feels like, or performs like, today's episode is for you.
Absolutely. And this is not my quote, but I've always loved it. And a lot of people think about their genetics as being something that is holding them back from making healthy changes. And of course, like, genetics can be a factor. We're going to talk a little bit about genetics versus environment. However, and I don't know who coined this term, but it goes something like genetics loads the gun. But lifestyle choices and food is what pulls the trigger. Yeah. And it's so true. And that's true for body comp. Like, yes, do we have a predisposition to have a certain body type and or have the tendency to store fat in some areas? Like, some people, due to genetics, are likely going to store fat more in their abdomen versus maybe some others more in their hips and their thighs, those sorts of things. Yes. However, we all have the capacity and the ability to shift the body composition within a certain range, regardless of our genetic makeup. We just do. And that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah. And there's certain things that we can't change. We cannot change our bone structure, right? Yeah. Like, we are given a certain bone structure that is internal to each of us and it's individual, and we can't change that. We also can't necessarily change our genetics. Yeah. I am short. I'm never going to be taller. That is something that I have to just live with, and that's okay. Like, I can't change that about me. What I can do is I can change the way my body looks to make me feel taller, or to give the perception of being taller, or, you know, different things like that. I'm also like kind of straight up and down. I don't have a whole lot of curves. If I want to build out my shoulders and my booty, that'll give the illusion of me having more curves. These are all things that you can do and all things that you can shift just with your body composition.
Yeah, and actually, let's talk about both Haley and I for just a second, because we've talked about this before, but there's a ton of similarities. We're similar in height. I like to say I'm a little taller, just a little bit.
She is a little tall. Most people are a little or a lot taller than me.
Well,
so.
Most people are a lot taller than me too, but we are similar in height. We are similar in weight. She's a little bit lighter than me. We are similar in lifestyles. We're similar in how we work out. We are similar in our food choices, maybe not volume, But we do have different body types. I like to think, I think I'm a little bit more square, like a little bit squattier than her. She's got, she's got these really
I would
nice,
never call you squatty.
she's got these really nice long, I call them long legs because
They're really long.
long for her body. And
I am short torsoed.
well, and so like it's easy to see what you want in somebody else, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing, you guys, we should just be happy with how we were created and make the best of it and be the healthiest version of ourselves. And there's a lot of ways we can do that. So we're going to break it down today, and we're going to talk about some really easy things we can all do to start shifting, if you need to, your body composition, meaning that you are going to preserve more muscle
And or build
muscle while shedding fat. So when we talk about body recomposition, you can look at it as also body fat percentage. How much of your overall mass are things like water, bones, and muscle versus fat? And there's a really healthy ratio that differs for people, also depending on kind of what their makeup is, what their goals are, where they're at in life, all of those things. So we have done a lot of discussions specific to body fat percentage, and we get questioned all the time, like, what is a healthy body fat percentage? That answer differs depending on your lifestyle, your goals. Are you in competitive mode? Are you still menstruating if you're a female? One of the things that's really important to us at Macro Mavens is making sure that we are protecting and enhancing your natural hormone harmony. And we're going to get into that a little bit. But the three primary categories we're going to go into of ways to shift your body composition is going to be, first and foremost, nutrition. And we're going to talk about that. And then exercise, and then lifestyle.
Yep.
And so we're going to break it down.
Yeah, it's the 3 keys, you guys. And surprise, surprise, nutrition is number one, right? When we're talking about body comp and body recomp, nutrition. Nutrition is king, is queen, is the gesture, is all of it, you guys. If you are wanting to change the way your body looks, feels, or performs, the number one thing you need to look at and consider is changing the food that you are taking in. The easiest way to do that is to hire a coach who can look at your goals and who can just grab my butt.
Sorry.
Who can look at your goals and see what you're eating and then set you on the path to get you to your goals. But you guys, it's not rocket science either. Like, you have the ability to download any app you want to track your food, to see where you're eating and to make little changes to that. I will say, if you want to recomp your body, you need to look at the amount of protein that you are taking in on a daily basis, because generally speaking, you're probably not taking in enough, especially if fat loss is one of your goals. If you want to lose fat, preserve and or gain muscle, you need to make sure that you're taking in the proper amount of protein in order to support those goals. And also, a lot of people come to us and they're like, I just want to lose weight. Well, we don't want you to lose weight. We want you to lose fat, because that's really what most people want. They don't want to lose water or muscle or bone or anything like that. They really just are talking about wanting to lose fat. And so we want to do that in the healthiest way possible. And the way we do that is increasing protein often, not always, but increasing protein in order to maintain and sustain the amount of muscle that you already have on your body, and hopefully increase that over time also. So protein, you guys, we really can't preach protein enough, I don't feel like.
But it's not as simple as just like, okay, let's just take our plate and increase protein.
Right.
Like, everybody differs a little bit, and that's where, unless you have unless you really know your body and you know what your body needs specific to your goals, even the online calculators that are out there, they're only taking into account a couple of things. And so what we like to do with our clients, because really from a nutritional standpoint, you have to look at overall calorie intake, and then you also need to look at like your nutrient balance within that. And so a couple of things. We don't just give our clients a stagnant assignment. We are going to shift that over time. So we're going to look at, when you first start, where are you at? What do you weigh? What is your body composition? Even if you don't have a way to measure that, we're going to be looking at things like pictures. We're going to be looking at your activity level. We're going to be looking at what your individual goals are, your medical history. Do you have anything that could be impacting your metabolism, such as hormone fluctuations? We have a lot of clients with some form of autoimmune disorder. There's a number of different things. So we're going to take that, and then we're going to look at, what are you eating on average right now? we can't start, even like Haley and I, for instance, we have a lot of similarities, but we wouldn't start out at the same place, even though we work out similarly and we eat similarly, because our natural caloric intake differs. So we have to take that into account, and then we can slowly shift your macros. Let's say you are a 150-pound female, and let's say you're only eating like 75 grams of protein in a day. That's like 25 grams of protein per meal. A lot of people are only eating that. But let's say that your goal is to get from, depending on your height, all of the things. I hate putting
Activity
numbers
level,
out there.
I know, it really is.
But let's say you're 150 pounds, and let's say you're shorter, and you don't have a lot of muscle, and you want to try to get to 130 pounds. So that 20-pound difference at 75 grams of protein, that is not going to be enough to sustain your muscle while we shed fat. And so we're going to need to slowly increase your protein, probably somewhere between 100 and 130 grams, depending on your activity level and all that. If we took you from 75 grams to, let's say, 115 grams of protein per day overnight, your gut would be so mad at you.
And you would be mad at us.
Yes. And so that's why having somebody that understands what they're doing, so that we can look at your starting point, know where we need to start you, and then shift that week over week so that we're getting you to where you need to be, all while preserving and or sometimes building muscle while shedding fat, is going to give you that body recomposition that you really want. And so the saying that I love is, well, two sayings, and this has to do with nutrition and body composition. First of all, you cannot out exercise a bad fork, meaning that no matter how much you work out, if your nutrition is not on point, you are not going to get
your time.
You're not going to get the shifts in your body internally or externally that you want. The other part is that you cannot build a house without wood. You cannot build a body without fuel. And that fuel, primarily when we're talking about muscle, comes from protein.
Yeah, it's absolutely true, you guys. And it's not just protein, but it's the proper balance of protein, carbohydrates, and fats. That's one thing that I don't think that people realize. I know so many people, and I have a ton of clients who I coach currently, who have come to me and they're like, I've done it all. I've counted calories. I've restricted. I've, exercised until I can barely walk, all of the things. And really what it took, to start changing their body is just a shift in the percentages of their macros that they were already taking in. The other thing that I love about the whole idea of body recomp versus fat loss is, and this is a mind shift, you guys. It's a real big mind shift. We are so hung up on the number on the scale.
Yeah.
As a culture, as women, as people, the number on the scale gives us a lot of validation or invalidation for who we are as people, which I could be on a soapbox about that all day long.
Yeah.
What's hard about body recomposition, and oftentimes we see it a lot in our clients, is we'll shift their nutrition and they start eating more protein, or they start adhering to a plan and being consistent, and their body starts changing. And we can see it in their photos. We have our clients take pictures week over week and take measurements, and we can see it.
Yeah.
However, the scale oftentimes doesn't reflect the work that you're putting in, because as we maintain and preserve muscle, and as the fat comes off, oftentimes the number on the scale stays fairly steady, even though the change is happening on the inside out.
Yeah.
What happens, you guys, and what people get hung up on, and I have a lot of clients who I've done this with, and I've tried to reframe things. They're like, I want to lose 20 pounds and then I want to put on muscle. And I'm like, okay, that's two totally separate, those are two separate things. We can focus on the fat loss and losing 20 pounds. And the way we get there looks much different than, okay, now I want to build muscle. And what's the amazing thing about body comp and recomp is you can do the two simultaneously.
But you have to be less concerned about the number on the scale.
You have to. The number on the scale has to mean less to you, and you have to listen to your coach, because it's our goal to train you and to coach you into what nutrition looks like in order to drop fat, preserve, and or gain muscle at the same time. Now, what's hard about that, and actually it's like this push-pull, because it's really a more enjoyable process to maintain your muscle while losing fat, as long as that number on the scale is not a huge stickler for you. That process is way more enjoyable than trying to drop 20 pounds and then trying to build muscle. Because when you try to drop 20 pounds and then build muscle, you're watching the scale go down, down, down. Let's say you hit your goal weight, and then they're like, okay, now I want to put on muscle. And I'm like, okay, let me tell you what's going to happen when you put on muscle. The scale's going to go up. because muscle weight, you guys have heard it since you were kids in school, muscle weighs more than fat. The same amount, yes and no, the same, it takes up so much less space
volume
in your body.
Yeah.
Muscle, like if this is like a couple of pounds of muscle, it's nice and tight, compact. You can go back, we have lots of lives over what fat and muscle looks like.
Should have brought those props out.
Oh yeah. Anyway, like let's say that this is a couple pounds of muscle. It's super tight. It's smooth, it's beautiful, and fat is like this for the same amount.
Like twice the volume.
Twice the volume.
If not more.
It takes up so much more space. And so like if we can reduce the fat, let's say we take this big glob of fat, we reduce it to a really nice firm piece of muscle, and the weight may not change, but the way you get there is so much more enjoyable as far as increasing your calories, increasing your metabolic load, all of those things, and not having to be in a calorie deficit for very long. All of that will get you to your goal of looking better, performing better, and feeling better. I mean, that's our motto. Our motto is feel good, look good, do good. And we can get there through body composition and shifting your nutrition to get you to your goals. But man, I so wish that the scale wasn't as powerful as it is.
And we do use the scale for our clients because it is a data point, but it's only one of many data points. And we see significant shifts on the scale with a lot of our clients.
Yeah.
It is just the one piece of information. And for those clients that really are looking to build muscle, we really challenge them. It's a head game. And I will just say for myself, like my healthiest, leanest self is not my lightest self. And it just differs for everybody. And that's just something that you get more and more comfortable with. And so let's recap that because we've talked.
I have one more thing to say.
Okay, please do.
Before we recap. And actually this one might move more into exercise actually, but anyway, I'll say it anyway. I think a lot of people who are frustrated with the aesthetics of their bodies and the way their bodies look, and they think that the way to get their body to look the way they think that they want it to is to lose weight. And I actually think that the reality of what you actually want is you want to look strong. I'm not saying you want to look like a bodybuilder. That's not what I'm saying. But you want to feel strong. You want to look strong. And oftentimes, and I've seen it with my own clients, those clients who want to lose 20 pounds and then they're like, wait, I want to put on muscle. Because what happens is when you're losing just fat and you're not building muscle, you're taking your body with how it looks. Let's say that my body looks the way it does today. Let's say I lose 10 pounds, but I don't increase muscle. I'm taking my body and I'm just shrinking it down.
Yeah.
Like I'm not actually like building my arms or my biceps or getting stronger. I'm just taking what I already have and making it smaller.
Yeah.
And I think in a lot of people, especially women, may be scared to put on muscle for fear of being bulky or looking manly or whatever it is, when the reality is most likely you want to look strong and you want to feel strong.
Yeah.
That's my,
Yeah.
I think that's probably true for a lot of women.
And the beauty of it is when we have adequate muscle, because a lot of men and women don't have enough muscle for true longevity. Muscle equals longevity. Now, there's a tipping point, as there is with most things in life. But the other thing is that the more muscle you have, the more calories you burn at rest. So it also really helps your metabolism.
Yeah.
And so because we're gonna try to make this kind of quick today.
Apparently I have a lot to say.
I know, I love it. We're like role
today.
reversal today. So we've talked about one of our three categories. Now they all tie into each other, but specifically with nutrition, it doesn't have to be super complicated, but you do need to understand where you are and where you want to be and what you need to do to get there. And a lot of that process has to do with your total calorie intake. And everybody's probably going to start at a little bit different place. And then your macro breakdown and how that shifts over time. The one thing we didn't talk about are the foods you're actually fueling your body with. And yes, our clients can fit in what they want to if it fits within the bounds of their calorie and their macro assignment, which is just a temporary thing that allows us to use the science of really eliciting change to your base metabolic rate, the amount of calories you burn at rest. But then there's the whole other side of inflammation, which can also have an impact on your body composition because it also really affects all of your bodily systems, including your hormone landscape. And we want hormone harmony. And we're going to get into that when we talk about lifestyle. But that's basically going to be sticking to whole foods, foods from the ground, foods that walk around, foods from the air, foods from the sea. It really is. It can be that simple. But if you do that, and then you couple it with understanding what your body and your brain needs from a caloric intake standpoint for your goals and shifting your macros over time, the beauty of doing that allows you to achieve a much more aggressive body recomposition, and then you can get to a higher caloric intake with a leaner body mass, and it's so much more sustainable. You're not going to have that yo-yo effect. It is like such a beautiful thing.
Magic. It is.
It is.
It actually is.
Okay,
So that's nutrition. Number 1, check mark off of
Woo-hoo.
nutrition. Let's head into exercise.
Woo-hoo! Okay, guys, what do you think is the we've been talking about it this whole time, but the number one thing within the realm of exercise? Nutrition has a bigger impact on your body composition than exercise.
That's why nutrition was number 1, you guys. Nutrition is always number 1, even though most people, I would venture to say most people, when they're like, oh, I need to lose weight,
I need to get in shape.
Then they join a gym and they bust their butt on cardio, and you really should look at your nutrition first.
You should. And here's what I'm going to say is general movement is good. Like we really challenge our clients to get a minimum of 10,000 steps a day. Like it's called LISS, low intensity steady state movement. The more we can move our bodies throughout the day, moving in the morning, taking a break, moving your body, walking on lunch, doing a post-dinner walk, whatever it may be, like general movement is really important for longevity. But if we're strictly talking about body composition and you want to have a good ratio of muscle to fat, you are going to need to do some form of resistance training, whether it's body weight resistance or weighted resistance. You have to work your muscle, and you have to have muscle to see muscle. And it's beautiful. It doesn't mean you have to have big, huge muscles by any means, but just having the strength and the muscle underneath your skin is going to allow that body recomposition. Plus, the muscle is going to allow you to burn more fat at rest. So,
plus, muscle is good for longevity. If you want to live longer, you will live longer if you have more muscle. And I think that, like, and maybe not so much in the circles that you and I run around in, I don't think we see it as much as like the general population, just because we tend to hang out with like-minded people who are super into exercise and nutrition and all of those things. But I feel like, and I remember kind of being this way, like going to the gym and being like, I have to be careful when I work out because I don't want to get bulky. I don't want to look like a bodybuilder. And what I've come to realize in my age is like those people who look like bodybuilders, the bodybuilders themselves, do you know how hard you have to work to look like that? Like, it is a job, you guys. It is a full-time job to be bulky and super overly muscular.
This girl, like, she does, like, she'll do weighted rows, like, down, and she's using 30-pound dumbbells.
I'm kind of strong in some things. I don't want to flex. You should flex. Maybe we'll post a picture of us flexing. I don't know.
See if you're covering my flex. Sorry, guys.
Anyway.
Girl is strong.
Oh, yeah. It takes one to know one. What I'm saying, though, is like to get bulky, it takes a lot of work, you guys. It is a job to get bulky. Emmy and I work out every single day of the week. And we work out hard, and we lift heavy weights, and we push.
I do weights only about 3 to 4 days a week, but yes. Like,
but we push ourselves. And honestly, like, I've been doing that for years, and not one single time in my whole life has anybody been like, dang, girl, your muscles are real bulky. You look bulky. Nobody's ever said that to me. Now, Emmy's family is really honest with her. Well, and they say things that, like, people wouldn't say. And Emmy, let me tell you something about this girl. In the last year, she has completely recomped her entire body and her entire physique, and she is a beast in the gym. And I think she looks incredible, and never in a million years would I look at her and be like, girl, you are bulky. I wouldn't say it, even though she thinks she's squatty. Again, that's not a word I would ever use with her. But anyway, what I'm saying is women especially, tend to be scared to go to the gym and to lift heavy weights. And I'm telling you, don't be scared of that. Because in order to look like a bodybuilder, you have to train like a bodybuilder. You have to eat like a bodybuilder. And 99.9% of the world's population is not going to do that.
No, they're not. And the thing is that the more baseline muscle you can have, like, and we talked about longevity. I mean, you look at one of the higher reasons for mortality in older ages are falls, right? Hip breaks. We all probably know somebody in our life that, like, their quality of life significantly went down, their mobility significantly went down after something like a hip break. If we can have muscle preservation, it just keeps us more functional. And that functionality is so important, not to mention when we have muscle, It goes hand in hand with our hormone landscape, with our cognition, with our ability to have deep restful sleep. Like, it all goes hand in hand. So all of that is to say, if you are wanting body recomposition, the number one thing you need to do is look at your nutrition. The number two thing you need to do is
Sorry, this is me lifting weights.
Yes. The number two thing you need to do is make sure you do have a good level of general movement, but consider having some form of resistance training so that you truly are building and preserving the muscle that you have. It is so important. People want that lean, in shape look. Well, shape comes from shaping,
muscle.
and
Yeah.
that's that muscle that is shaping. So we all, you know, we started with, we all have a unique to us foundation, right? That we can only do so much within, but there's a lot that you can do within that.
Yeah.
And I will be one that I said, like, this is strictly vain, okay? Like, I'm just going to talk vanity for a minute. For so many years, you guys, I've worked out my entire life. And I've always eaten clean. It wasn't until macros that I really understood how to fuel my body and my brain in a way where I didn't have to restrict what I was eating and I could get a leaner body mass. But I had accepted, even though I was around a lot of people that I felt like I was working just as hard or harder than, and maybe even eating cleaner, I just accepted, like, I will never be able to get a six pack. Like, it's just I don't have the genetics for it. Now, I can't say I totally have a six pack right now, but
your leanest isn't your healthiest.
But my leanest isn't my healthiest. And I shifted my body in a fairly short period of time through nutrition once I totally understood it, to where I could get that lean body mass and I could have visible abdomen muscles. Now, that's not always the healthiest thing for women. We need a certain amount of essential body fat, especially for hormones, but it's doable. Like, I only share that because it's doable. And that was one of my vain things I wanted.
Yeah. And you can get there, you guys. You just have to be willing to put in the work for it.
Yep, you do. Okay.
Nutrition and exercise. You gotta have muscle. You gotta build muscle in order to see muscle.
Totally. Okay, the third category we're going to talk about, and this is something that we work a lot with on our clients, on.
We work with our clients on this a lot.
Yes. Which I think differs a little bit from a lot of what is out there. And
Yeah,
that is, we really look at the lifestyle component, because we can teach all day about nutrition and even exercise, but if we are not looking at how to make sure we're getting deep and restful sleep, how to make sure that we have stress resiliency, how to make sure that
I don't know. It was big. It's just a grasshopper, but a giant. It landed right on my head. Oh, that was so exciting. That's the best TV you could ever see. What's hilarious is it hit me in the head and she screamed.
oh my God, I heard it and I heard a clunk. I was like, what is this locust?
Just
Okay.
It's fine. Curse of the locust.
Okay, so
Stress.
Yeah.
Ooh, cortisol.
Stress resiliency, like, really, like, we have to look at those pieces, because even body recomposition is majorly affected by our hormones. And we want to take our clients from a hormone hurricane, if they're in one, to hormone harmony. And that is going to help with things like metabolism, and going to help with things like body recomposition. It's going to help with our deep and restful sleep, which absolutely affects our nervous system, which affects our hormone landscape.
Well, and sleep really affects our hormones, you guys. It really, really does. If you're not getting enough sleep, then the hormones that regulate your appetite are all out of whack.
Yep. It's
like
big.
it's a big deal. If you are a crappy sleeper, and you know, I have had seasons, and it kind of ebbs and flows where my sleep really suffers, and I always notice, like, the next day, like, my desire to eat well and to stay on plan, like, really struggles. And a lot of it is because those hormones that regulate appetite and satiation kind of go out the window when you don't sleep well.
Yeah, and instead of us taking a ton of time to go through it, I think three of the main ones, and this is where I was going with that, is that we have our pillars of wellness, that in addition to nutrition, that we're going to really work with our clients on over time to create small habit changes that lend to a really healthy lifestyle, and family for that matter, are going to be things like deep and restful sleep. They're going to be things like becoming more stress resilient, understanding the role of inflammation in the body, hydration, and we have tools for all of those things. Now, we go into a lot more depth on them with our clients, but but if you want to, you can go to our website, macromavens.life, click the toolbox button, and we have a ton of free resources.
Yeah.
The reason that those lifestyle pieces, like deep and restorative sleep, like becoming more stress resilient, we can't eradicate, remove all stress from life, but we can evaluate it, we can remove some, and then we can also learn how to better respond to it so it doesn't have as much of an impact on our bodies, our hormones, our nervous system, our sleep, our metabolism, and all of those pieces.
Yep.
The other huge one is hydration.
Oh my gosh,
And
like
it's
you guys,
huge for
so
progress.
huge. It is so huge. In fact, I brought you your water.
I know. Thank
You guys, you have to be drinking enough water to support your goals. You have to be drinking enough water to stay hydrated. If you're not properly hydrated, your body will not lose fat as efficiently or as effectively as if you were hydrated. Some people, all they need to do in order to reach the goals that they set for themselves is increase their water.
Yep.
For some people, that's all you have to do is drink more water. How simple is that, you guys?
Yeah.
Keep it simple. Half of your body weight in ounces of water every single day, minimum.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to figure that out, right? If you're a 150-pound person, that's 75 ounces of water that you need to drink every day to stay hydrated. Anything above and beyond that is gravy. Like, that's just bonus, and that'll just help you to get to your goals even faster.
Yeah.
So, I fill this thing up a couple of times a day, and as long as I get through it at least twice, I'm good to go. And so keep it simple. Get a drinking vessel you enjoy, one with a straw. I drink 100 times more water if I have a straw than if I have to like open a lid. And just do it, you guys. That's like the number one thing. Like, honestly, the number one thing you can do for overall health is drink more water.
Yeah, it's so simple.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys. So today we talked about. Sorry, I saw something about one of my kids.
We talked about body recomping and how to get there through nutrition, exercise, and lifestyle.
Yeah, and everybody has the capacity to make change. Yeah. And it really does. Like, I wish earlier in life I would have recognized the importance of what a coach can do to elicit change. I think that having a coach in your corner in any area of life, whether that is going to be nutrition, finance, like whatever it is, if you get somebody that really understands what they're doing, that can work with you individually to get you where you want to go instead of reinventing the wheel, it makes all the difference in the world. Like, I see coaching so differently now.
Yeah.
Like, coaches need coaches.
Totally.
And so if you are interested in jumping in, you guys, there's just a little more than 3 months until Christmas. Like, what about waking up Christmas morning and feeling like your best, healthiest self? It's anytime's a good time, but fall's like such a great reset time.
It
so
is.
you can go to macromavens.life. You can click the hop on board button. It does not commit you to anything, but it allows one of our coaches to reach out. We always do a free consult, see if we're a good fit, answer questions. If you're not there and you want some free resources, we have several on our website. It's not the same as a custom plan, but there is really great information there. So,
and scroll through our socials, you guys. Look at our transformations of our clients. We have so many clients who have gone through the process, are currently going through the process, who have completely recomped their bodies, who are feeling better, looking better, doing better, performing better, all of the things just simply by having a coach on their corner and being guided through this macro journey that we do. So really go through, look at our transformations, you guys. Those photos, I think, speak for themselves.
Totally.
And read the testimonials that are posted on our socials too, because it is powerful, you guys. Taking control of your health and reaching your goals, whether it's physical goals, fitness goals, health goals, whatever that is, it's empowering. And it is like, I don't know, it changes the world.
It really does.
It does. It honestly does. So head over to macromavens.life, click the hop on board button. A coach will reach out to you. We would love to partner with you on your health journey, you guys. Happy Monday. It's great to be back together with this one.
It's the best.
I'm glad to be back in the Rogue Valley, and just looking forward to this next season of goodness. We have a lot coming at you guys this fall and into the winter, and it's going to be it's going to be real good.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful day.
See ya.